Hello all. Well, question, because I'm just wondering, technology, good or bad, pros, cons. Now, I know they've caught criminals due to the fact of everybody has a ring, and I actually experienced this myself. Someone was trying to get in my front door when I was at my old place, and he was smart enough not to show his, there we go, show his face, but he, he had a hoodie, whatever, but his build, his height, but others not so smart, and criminals have been caught. But there was something that came out about be careful about Airbnbs because they have like hidden cameras. Now, you can get a camera in just about anything. I myself was going to get one, and I'm still probably going to, because I want to get a dog walker for my dog, midday, and get her in that habit, or when I'm going to be late, going out after work to do that. And it was a picture frame, and you cannot tell that it is a camera. So there are so many devices that look like normal everyday things, and they're cameras. Now, thinking back, this one guy, and he sold audio equipment, and this was the one that I found, another woman's wardrobe in his closet. And he'd say, oh, wait a minute, before we fooled around. And he went and adjusted something. And I never thought anything of it, but I was thinking when this all came about, and that is pretty scary because you get involved with somebody and they secretly tape you. I mean, how are you going to tell? You're going to go through every little device that he has? It's a little scary. It's a little scary. Another thing, I don't know if I told you guys this. My friend met a guy. She was out with another friend of ours to go hear a band, and even took a picture of him, like a selfie, and she got his name because of his phone. And he texts her, and of course it comes up now, maybe whatever. Now, I changed my name. I went to T-Mobile because someone told me you can change how it comes up. So I went to T-Mobile, and and the guy, did it for me, walked me through it. I couldn't remember to save my life. But to change how it comes up. So it's funny because the guy says that name every single time at the pizza place, Italian restaurant up the street. And really try not to yawn. I am extremely tired today. There was a point I was sitting in my chair like this. I was like, all right, let me just close my eyes for a second and maybe this will help. And I closed my eyes, put my head back in my chair, close my eyes, and next thing you know, I'm waking myself up because I'm snoring. So, yeah. I don't know if I was snoring or choking on my saliva or what, but yeah, I woke myself up. So I was like, whoa. So I don't know why. Today, I am so tired, but I am. But, getting back to our subject there. So, my friend changed her name. And her first name she kept, you know, because, but I had this guy that met and talking and everything, and he referred to me by this name, by my first name and this last name that I put in. And I'm like, good luck to you trying to find me. So it's just, until I want to tell them, I don't want them knowing. My friend was nervous because he now had her information, and back in 2012, quite a bit ago, but hey, still happened, he raped a woman at knife point. I mean, she pulled up the records, and I was like, oh my God. Now, I don't know how you can forgive that circumstance, how you can explain that circumstance, how you could say, I was young and stupid. You're 40 something. Like, I'm sorry. He was brought up on charges. He must have did time. So there's no way of explaining that, of saying anything about that, oh my goodness. And whoa, I'm sorry. I have a cousin who did time for, he was dating somebody that was 14, and I think he was 20 or 21, and the parents put charges. Now, I don't know that they were dating. That's the story I got. I mean, he's a sex offender, registered sex offender, and he went to jail for it. So, I don't know all the story. I don't know all the details. I am so sorry. But he's now dating someone, and he's been dating her for quite a while, and she has 2 girls. I'm sorry. And my other cousin said, oh, he made a mistake. To me, that's not a mistake. I'm sorry. There's either something wrong with you that you can't help yourself, or, I mean, it's not like he was 20, 21, whatever the age, but mentally was like, you know, he doesn't have a mental condition where he's mentally not his age. I mean, not that it excuses it, but when you don't know, or you're not, like, you say, you're like 10 and you saw something on TV and you're, you know, repeating that, you know, what you saw, it still doesn't make it right, because the parents should be, you know, making sure he's not watching this and educating him like TV isn't reality. Because I had a cousin who was Down syndrome, and she would like say stuff like, oh, I'm gonna steal your boyfriend, oh, you're gonna be my boyfriend, I'm gonna marry you, we're gonna make love. And my aunt and uncle constantly, I mean, she loved her TV, constantly explained to her, constantly, like, you know, talk to her and explain to her. And they were very nervous. And I remember it was in the news, and I don't know that I agree with this. I don't know. I'm not a parent of a child that has Down syndrome, so I can't judge. But they took their daughter and they had her tubes tied so that she could not get pregnant. And their thinking was that if somebody preys on her, their explanation, I should say, if someone preys on her in her naiveness, even though they've talked to her and everything, and oh, I love you, and this is how people who love each other act, and or basically, even if she starts to say no after it starts to happen, basically like a date rape thing, they don't want her in that situation. But now there is couples that are, and someone had told me this one time, that they can't have children, they're sterile, and I don't know that that's true. I really don't. I've never researched it. I will have to look it up. But there's couples now, that Down syndrome couples, that they're having relationships, they're getting married, they're living on their own, they have Instagram, and it's come a long way. Come a very long way. They're very much mainstreamed, and we went to see my niece dance. She's on the dance team for her high school, and so sorry, dance team for high school, and then the cheerleaders also cheer, and they had cheerleaders with Down syndrome on there, and I think that's fabulous. Why shouldn't they be able to do what everybody else does? I mean, my son was born premature. They told us they believed mild cerebral palsy, but they didn't know at this point what degree it would be. They're like anywhere from walking with a limp to being in a wheelchair. And this is what the neonatologist said. He said, your son will be as limited as you limit him. We never told him he had cerebral palsy. It got to a point, I think he was in 4th or 5th grade, and he would most of the time sit out the president's fitness thing, but he did it. He wanted to do it, but then some of the kids were, because he didn't have the upper body strength, and that's when we had to sit down and explain to him, like, this, and it, you have mild cerebral palsy, and it affected your right side and your upper body. So you don't have the upper body strength of a person your age. You may never have good upper body strength. So we had to explain him. And I think that's what most parents now, how they're looking at children with Down syndrome, with disabilities. They'll be of course they have limits, but they'll be as limited as you limit them. Not meaning like, okay, they're going to walk if they're in a wheelchair, but their limitations don't have to limit them to, they can try everything and anything within their limitations. They can go, they're encouraged now, and they do. And bringing this up, my boss said, he went to see the gastro doctor, the group, and he saw the doctor that I saw one time, and at the time, I don't know if the doctor now is in a wheelchair or what, or walking with a walker or something. And he said, oh, was Dr., and I can't even remember his name right now, in an accident or something. And I said, oh, I didn't go to, and then I was like, oh, no, I did. I was like, he has cerebral palsy. And he goes, oh, that makes sense. I said, yes, because I remember we got into a conversation, and I don't know, family history or whatever. And I brought up my son, was born premature, has mild cerebral palsy. And he has to walk with a walker. And I don't know if he has leg braces. I honestly cannot remember. And my boss didn't mention that. But he's a doctor. So his parents evidently did not limit him. You can do anything you want to do. You want to be a doctor? Be a doctor. So it has nothing to do with how smart he is. Like his disability doesn't affect, like, obviously his brain. I mean, there are some that, it does limit their mental capacity. It depends the severity. But again, I mean, I watched, I don't remember the name of the movie. Oh, I can't remember it. Jack of Red Hearts, I think, maybe. And this girl takes a job, fudges who she is, take care of this girl who is, doesn't sit and eat, takes food off other people's plates, and she researches it and, watches Helen Keller and Tough Love and all this stuff, and she gets her to sit and eat, where before she'd walk around, she'd take food off of other people's plates and, with her hands, eat her food with her hands, and just does wonderful. And in some of those cases too, it takes the right person, it takes the right parents. And when my son was born premature and had all these problems, and I was just, why I did everything right. My aunt said, listen, and I was mentioning people that didn't, and he goes, listen, if their child was born with a lot of the issues that Austin had, that poor child wouldn't have had a chance. God doesn't give us more than we can handle. And I believe that. And even the doctors told me to wait until my, son was a year to get him in physical and occupational therapy. I came home from that appointment. That was February, and he was born in October early. And my mother said, don't you dare call them back. They're not gonna, and the doctor sees so many kids, and just call back or call tomorrow, and say, oh, I was there and I forgot to get the prescriptions or what I had to do for pre-authorization for occupational physical therapy. And I did it, and they're like, oh, we'll do it. We'll take care of that. And they got the pre-authorization. I picked up the prescriptions, and my son started. And I met a mom who listened to her pediatrician to wait till he's a year to see how delayed he was and all this stuff. And he was just learning how to sit up at a year old. Actually, he was 14 months old. And here is my son, who is learning. No, he was crawling. Learning. He wasn't doing a great job, but he was crawling. He could sit up. He could do other things because we did that. And I believe my son is doing as good as he is today because we didn't wait. We did not, and thank God to my mother. And some people say, oh my God, my mother gives so much advice. And there's some things my mother gave me advice on. I was like, oh my God. I was just like, oh, okay, Ma, okay. And I okayed her and yesed her and everything. And then was like, no. But this, I'm like, okay. Not that my mother had a child with disability, but just she raised 5 kids. So I was like, okay, here we go. She knows best. So that was that. And I think I might have a delivery. But yeah, so I think, it's, please tell me. If it's raining, it's only like just misting. So yeah, just like a mist on my window. That was my test. I did my windshield wipers. So hopefully Jazzy Girl will walk quickly like she did last night. But yeah, so what is your thoughts? I went totally off the grid there. About technology. I mean, some of it is good. We've caught criminals. It's good when you have a babysitter. You could see what they're doing. Spy on your kids, teenagers. Might see more than you want to, so be careful. But what is what do you think? I mean, it is scary. I mean, you're involved with someone and they might not be who they say they are, and then next thing you know, and Airbnbs by law, my brother told me this. Again, I have not looked it up to confirm it, so I don't know that it's to be true. Because it's their house, they are allowed to have cameras everywhere except the bathrooms. Whoa. So you're getting it on and they're allowed to have cameras there. I think they should have to divulge that information. They should have to put it out there that, we have cameras in our bedrooms, just so you're aware. I don't know anybody that would want to have cameras in their bedrooms. And I understand that, I could see, I even said, some people, hey, I myself have partaked, doing it in the living room and, I don't think dining room, living room, I don't think kitchen. I think just living room. But, some people might be into that, and I think they should have to divulge that so that you're aware that, and they should have, if they're renting out their home, they should have to sign something that, if they divulge it, I'd have them sign something that any of those are for their own personal use for, make sure that nothing has been, destroyed or whatever in the home, and then it's not to be distributed, because, what's to say that they don't distribute it? I don't think they could without your permission, but I don't know. So pretty scary. Pretty darn scary. So, like I said, you're renting out your house, you want to make sure. So living room, dining room, kitchen, I get it. But bedrooms? I don't think so. Bathrooms? No. All the other rooms, yes, but I get it. Bathrooms, absolutely. But bedrooms? No. I don't think so. So, but, all right, I'm home, and I literally am having trouble keeping my eyes open. So I don't know why I'm so tired. Oh, I started on that it's a nasal spray. I don't even think that make you tired, but who knows? And I slept pretty good last night, so I don't know. I don't know why I'm so tired, but who knows? I literally could just shut my eyes right now, put my head back, and just sleep in my car. So, all right. Oh, Amazon is here. So I will see you all later. Bye.